Hey, Wade, welcome to this edition of the 700 Club. We've got a little special treat today. I figured it was time to have a little animal lovers. So Princess Maggie's going to be with us.
Princess Maggie, she hadn't been here for a while.
Hadn't been here for a while, and she said, you know, what's the matter?
She said, please, Dad, let me go to work with you.
Don't you love me? Can't I be on TV? He said, well, she's going to be on TV.
Bring your dog to work day.
Yeah, well, she's a sweet dog. She's an Irish water spaniel, and so I think you'll enjoy it. Those dog lovers will be on the show. Well, police in Toronto are looking for a motive after a 25-year-old man drove a rented van down a busy sidewalk yesterday. His carnage continued for more than a mile and was reported yesterday at 9. It's now become 10 dead people.
Well, the driver was quickly arrested, and authorities don't believe it was a terrorist attack. Dale Hurd brings us this look at what happened and the man behind this deadly rampage.
25-year-old Alec Menashin was, according to his LinkedIn profile, a student at Seneca College in Toronto's North York area. Police say he used this rented van as a murder weapon on a Toronto sidewalk crowded with people strolling during their lunchtime Monday, in what appeared to witnesses and police as a deliberate attack that lasted 26 minutes.
Vehicle, personal injury, intersection of Yonge Street and Finch Avenue.
It began just after 1:30 p.m. in one of Toronto's busiest areas. Menashin's van jumped a curb and began striking anyone he could find.
It was just clear as day, just an ordinary day walking and just saw the guy get hit by a van.
That van traveled 16 blocks, mowing down pedestrians for nearly a mile and a half.
Gruesome scene is really bad out there. I couldn't believe what I seen, man. It was like, oh man, everybody, all these people on the streets getting hit one by one, post office box getting crumbled up on people, and one person got dragged on and their blood is all over.
Everyone started running and screaming, and he hit this one lady and she went flying. You could hear them like dropping.
Those who saw it unfold witnessed a horrifying scene. Victims and their belongings left bloodied and scattered.
There was one lady who was in total distress, and we saw the team go to work on her and pumping away, and they lost her.
Menashin was quickly arrested after a brief confrontation with officers a few blocks away. ISIS has called on its followers to use vehicles to attack non-believers in Western nations. And vehicle attacks have occurred across Europe and even in the U.S. But officials so far do not believe this was terrorism.
On the basis of all available information at the present time, there would appear to be no national security connection to this particular incident.
Classmates of Menashin who spoke with Canada's Globe and Mail described the suspect as socially awkward. A senior government official said the fact authorities have not turned the investigation over to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police is a big indication that this was not terrorism, but could have simply been the act of someone who wanted to kill. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, it's shocking, and I'm sure the people in Canada are just in mourning because of this. It's such a terrible tragedy. But this is precisely what ISIS was telling their followers. Use vehicles to hurt civilians in cities. And we've had many cases like this in Europe, and this is in Canada. And they say, no, it doesn't seem to have any relationship to terrorism. Well, I think, frankly, it does. Well, in other news, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee has recommended Mike Pompeo to be the Secretary of State after a very close vote Monday night. John Jessup has that.
That is right, Pat. The vote to approve President Trump's nominee came after a surprising twist. Every Democrat on the committee opposed the nomination, but as Abigail Robertson reports, the committee still was able to recommend Pompeo after one Democratic senator made a selfless move to help a friend on the Republican side of the aisle.
In 2017, the Senate easily approved Mike Pompeo's nomination as CIA director by a vote of 66 to 32. Now that President Trump wants him as Secretary of State, this key role has faced historic partisan opposition. It began when each committee Democrat announced they would vote no on moving Pompeo forward, along with Republican Rand Paul. That would have sent the nomination to the full Senate with an unprecedented, unfavorable recommendation, with Paul voting no and GOP Senator Johnny Isakson absent, attending a funeral. Then, two surprises happened. Paul changed his mind, and Senate Democrat Chris Coons helped his mourning friend by voting present instead of no.
He called me and asked if it made the difference in moving ahead today, rather than making him come in at 11 o'clock at night, would I vote present? I was happy to do that for a friend.
Coons, who co-chairs the National Prayer Breakfast, told reporters of Isakson's difficult day, giving the eulogy at his best friend's funeral, and didn't want to make his day any harder.
Several of my Democratic colleagues said that was the right thing to do.
Coons recalled when his father died, a Republican senator offered to do the same for him.
That meant a great deal to me. So every now and then we should find our way towards each other in ways like this, in moments like this.
The gesture moved committee chairman Bob Corker to tears.
Coons is one of those members that's here to make a difference. And I think it showed that senators at the right time can do outstanding things.
Senate leadership hopes to see Pompeo confirmed by the end of the week before their next recess. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Thanks, Abby. A moving gesture of kindness. Well, former President George Herbert Walker Bush is recovering after being hospitalized with an infection. He was admitted to Houston Methodist on Sunday, shortly after his wife's funeral. The infection spread into the bloodstream of the 93-year-old former president. A spokesman says he is responding to treatment and that Bush is reportedly eager to get well so he can get back to his summer home in Maine. Well, artificial sweeteners may not help you lose weight, and in fact, they could be bad for your overall health. A new study calls them potential contributors to the dramatic increases in obesity and diabetes, adding that a high amount of the sweeteners can damage blood vessels. The study comes from Marquette University and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Other studies have also found potentially harmful effects from artificial sweeteners, including one that said drinks containing them could raise the risk of dementia or stroke. Pat, in your opinion, is there one that's worse than the other, sugar or artificial sweeteners?
Well, I think there's something called stevia that is working. It's a plant-based sweetener that is very powerful and non-toxic. I used to think sweet and low was good for you, but now I'm finding otherwise. And I'm certainly convinced that diet drinks do the reverse of what they're supposed to do. People are getting fatter and fatter on so-called diet drinks, but the idea that stroke and dementia is caused by these things is extraordinary, Terry.
Yeah, well, you've been talking about aspartame for years, too, and the problems with that.
Aspartame is a killer. I mean, that will... I mean, you have no idea how bad that stuff will do. It will lower your IQ. It does all kinds of damaging things to you. I mean, aspartame is just the pits. They used to have something called cyclamates, and, you know, I think they probably weren't as bad as everybody thought. But boy, oh boy, you know, what they've put in place of it, the aspartame is just deadly. And I think it was lobbied by a man who was a former Secretary of Defense, who was working for Searle, to get this thing through. And it's still out there, and, you know, medical people have said, oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with aspartame. Yes, it is. It will cause serious problems. But these other things are almost as bad now. They're beginning to think. And, you know, sugar's not all that good for you. So, folks, I mean, try natural sweeteners. I mean, that's the way to go.
Always, right?
Always, always, okay.
Well, speaking of the way to go, you have a guest that you've brought with you this morning for show and tell.
Yes. Is it time?
It's time.
Well, where is this? Is our dear friend Maggie. Hey, sweetie.
Maggie's gotten big.
Oh, Maggie is huge. Here. All right, darling. All right, now, you're going to behave yourself now, aren't you? All right, yeah, all right.
Oh, sure.
All right. Do you want to move the table, please? Somebody, there you go.
Whoa. Ow.
There you go. All right, there. All right. Could somebody please move the table so she can have a little freedom? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Maggie. All right.
Now, you keep her outside all the time. She's the hunting
Always.
dog.
Do not bring dogs in house.
Well, some dogs need to be in the house.
All right, lie down, baby. All right, roll over. All right, there you go. All
You've
right.
got her trained. She knows when those treats come.
All right. All right, sit up.
Good girl.
Yeah, that's the girl.
Good girl.
Isn't she sweet?
She is sweet.
She's an Irish Water Spaniel, and she's the nicest dog.
You have been a dog lover
Always.
for
We've
years.
had every kind of dog.
Hi,
All right, honey.
yes, I see you, honey. Go
That's
over by
it.
your
All right,
owner.
sit down. Lie down.
Just saying.
All right. Here you go. She is so eager to do nice things.
She is.
Oh, you're
She's
the
very
nicest baby.
sweet. I love her little hairdo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
She says, if I kiss you, will you give me more of those? Yeah.
All right.
No, over here,
You're
Maggie.
my
The
buddy.
answer is
Now,
no.
sit All right, lie down one more
Look at
time.
her.
All right,
She's
that's
good.
it. No, lie down.
I remember when she was a puppy, and she was not that obedient.
Yeah, well, she isn't that. Lie down, sweetie. There. All right.
Good girl.
Yeah. All right, this is Maggie. She is an Irish Water Spaniel. All right, roll over. Roll over. Roll over.
Her coat's beautiful, Pat.
That's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old is she now?
She's maybe 6 or so. She's not very old, but she's very healthy. But she stays.
Have you had this breed before?
Yeah. Bill Dooner got me one from Ireland. We liked her so much that we got one here domestically. All right, you go with.
Go with whoever will take you, Maggie.
Go with somebody.
Go with the one who brought you.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. You go with him.
Here,
All right.
this is for the slobber on your hands. Just saying.
In my face. All right. Isn't she sweet? You know,
She's beautiful.
I'm an animal lover, and I like animals. I can train horses, and I can train dogs, and they'll learn if you know how to teach them.
Absolutely. Well, they're good companions.
They really are.
They very much are. She's a beauty. You picked well.
Well, I did. But, you know, the other one, you remember Blue?
Oh, I remember Blue.
Well, Blue
the Doberman. Blue the Doberman.
Oh, he was big and beautiful. And, you know, I got him from these women. And they raised him when he was a puppy. And I'm telling you, he would not bond with a male. He bound with women.
Really?
And so I gave him to Bill Horan.
Give him to another male.
Well, his wife was the one who really was close to him.
Really?
But Blue developed some genetic disease that when they breed so finely for beauty, and they pick up these diseases, and he had I don't know, they call it staggers or something like that, and
Is he still living?
no, they had to put him down.
Oh, my.
He was dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They got, listen to this, they got 11,000 expressions of sympathy on
Well, Blue made a name for himself. I mean, he.
well, he had a blog, you know, and
Yes,
but
I know.
11,000 people expressing.
He wasn't a great
their,
typer, but, you know.
he was an absolutely gorgeous animal, and I trained him as far as I could go with him, but he never responded to me. He'd do what I told him to do. I told him to do all kinds of things, and they sent him to another trainer that told him. But then they had him set up as a you know, one of those dogs that you can take on an airplane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a comfort dog, whatever they call him. But anyhow, horses
to
and
some
dogs
degree.
we like. So anyhow, you saw Maggie. This is her debut.
Her debut since she's grown up.
She does well on the air, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. She does very well. She stays on your side. Kind of liking that.
Okay. She wouldn't do that beautiful dress of yours in a suit. Okay.